Hello there, Scorpio, and welcome to Radiant Moon Tarot. Today we've got your June 2026 money and career reading, and this will be for all Scorpio Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Let's have a look and see what we've got activating for you in the month ahead. We've got a couple of key things going on this month. Number one, we do start out in the first few days with energies from yesterday's May 31st full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. It is a blue moon because it's the second full moon in the month of May. We had our first one on May 1st, so the second one is on May 31st. And of course, under the light of a full moon, a blue moon, anything is possible. There's a little bit of magic. This full moon is ruled by Sagittarian energy, and it's Jupiter ruled. Okay, so Jupiter does bring good luck, good karma. It's the Wheel of Fortune energy, so we've got some good luck on our side. It's also expansion and growth, encouraging you to get out of your comfort zone, but also with this being Sagittarius energy, it's really a reminder to leave your baggage behind so that you can be a little more free to find some adventures ahead. So Sagittarius is the sign of travel and adventure. So if you're going on vacation, or if you're trying to start something new or making some improvements, we always do kind of need to leave some past energies or thoughts behind, right? Because we want to start out with something new. Middle of the month, we do have on June 13th, Venus, our planet of love and money, resources, creativity, new beginnings, things that make us feel good, and attraction is moving into the sign of Leo. So this can be really good for creative projects, for taking the lead, and even for being courageous and facing your fears. Leo is really good at that energy. And of course, we are heading into the summer. So, this can be where you're making some plans for your summer, some vacations, perhaps. Maybe you might need to change your travel plans if things have gotten a little pricey, but you can still go out and have fun. And Leo does love to have fun, but Leo is also leadership energy. So take the lead, take charge of your money, your career path, start something new if that's what you want to do. Maybe some of you have creative projects that are on the side. This can maybe make you a little bit of money on the side, and perhaps you just haven't quite put yourself out there. Great energy to support that for you. The sun moves into Cancer on the 21st of June. So we've got our summer solstice. Very big energy that day, and of course it is the longest day of the year. So what are you gonna do? This is like, hey, this is your key reminder that that in this energy after this day, the days start to get shorter and shorter as we go along. So time may be of the essence for you, and this is really saying, hey, come on, let's go. Let's do something interesting. And of course, at the end of the month on June 29th, we do have a full moon in Capricorn, very much a full moon that is associated with your career, with your money, with your reputation, with your status. It can bring something to fruition for you, as a full moon can do, but it can also be, a closure of, a project, or perhaps it's like, I think that this is my sign to, leave my job and find something better, right? Full moons can bring endings, but they can also bring something to fruition. Let's see what's in the cards for you. We've got peace. Isn't that nice? Peaceful energy. So this can be where you're making peace with something that's been going on around you. It's like, I've made my peace with that. Okay, I've, let that thing go. I'm not going to let that thing or that past thing or that energy, rule me anymore. Very nice energy for you, Scorpio. This can also be where there's a peaceful resolution for something in your future. If you've been at odds with someone, whether it's at home or your workplace, something tied with money matters, something tied with your job in particular, maybe a specific person, this can show that there's better energy that is flowing here. For that, you might need to, kind of really have a very important conversation. You might need to get everything out in the open. It could be ugly, but it brings about this energy of peace. Sometimes we got to throw all our cards on the table and then sort things out, right? Not always the easiest thing to do, but it can bring that resolution. So a more peaceful time ahead for you here, though, with this. So you could find that you have some successes with things that you've been working on. Perhaps it just feels a little more peaceful. I don't know about you guys, but April, especially, for me and my day job, yeah, it was like insane. May had some ups and downs, felt a little more peaceful. So hopefully this is a sign that if you're like really busy at work or it feels chaotic, hopefully things do just kind of, you get that sigh of relief. And we've got Truth Be Told here as well. Okay. Now, this is actually card number 14, which does relate back to the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius energy. And Sagittarius is the seeker of the truth. So this can be that situation here where you need to just put your cards on the table. You need to be honest. You need to be open. Open that window to your soul, if you will, and the truth will set you free, right? When we are honest and when we are, communicating in a positive way, this is where we do have more potential to resolve issues that are at hand. Okay, this can be really being about being transparent. It's also clarity of communication, right? So, of course, we can, have better conversations in the month ahead. We can have more productive conversations, but we can also just, kind of turn inward and look within. What do I really want? Where do I want to go? What am I meant to do? Where do I want to make money? Am I happy in my job? Am I not happy in my job? What are my home finances looking like? So you could really be kind of opening this window so that, you can enjoy a more peaceful, more prosperous life, right? And, if we're hiding behind the scenes or if we haven't gotten things sorted out, and if there's, still things that we're not addressing, right, then we're not going to have that peace. And, sometimes even if it's digging ourselves out of a hole, we've got to get things out there. All right. Excuse me. The peace energy up there can also be about radical acceptance. This can be, this energy where I accept where I am. I accept things the way they are right now. Okay. And now I can make a choice, right? Do I, live with things the way they are now? Is it acceptable to me? Or am I ready to make some changes, right? So, it's really that clarity that we get, right? Because there's always things, especially like global economy, which depending where you are can be in the crapper. And we do need to recognize sometimes things that we can't change. Railing at the fates may not necessarily serve your purposes. It's like, okay, this is what it is, and now I just need to come into reality and I need to figure out what can I do to make my situation a little bit better, right? And it can be challenging to do that, right? Because certain things, they're just not right, right? But they are a little bit beyond our control, right? You can vote, you can make changes in your life, but you can't necessarily change the entire world, right? But if enough of us embrace this energy, right, and embrace the truth, then that change has a ripple effect and it can be really quite beautiful. Let's get some more cards for you. Woo, you guys. Thank you. We've got the World card showing up right front and center for you folks. Okay, so the World, that start out our month with that full moon in Sagittarius, right? Some Jupiterian energy. The World is a successful completion of a cycle, bringing you, thank you very much, opening the doors to possibilities, to expansion, to growth, to all these wonderful things. But it is also a time of celebration. The World can represent an end to a big chapter. So, not only can it be like completion of a cycle, completion of projects, things like that, it can also represent that some of you have some big changes coming up here. The World can represent retirement, anniversaries, things like that. So, if you are retiring, then this is a whole new world for you, right? Maybe some of you with that world card there, you're like, okay, I've done everything I can do in my current career path or my current company or my current position. And now I'm looking out, I'm opening that portal, I'm opening that door, and I'm looking to see where the possibilities are. The world does open up a portal to the next stage of life, the next adventure, leveling up sometimes, getting out of our comfort zone, doing something completely new, and it can be really exciting. But first we celebrate, right? Always, always, always a good idea to just spend a few minutes, take a few deep breaths in and out, look and see where you are. What have you accomplished? What is the next step of your journey, right? And we do have an Ace of Swords coming out here right beside that. So it's like clarity. This is a big yes card. So there can be something here that comes to fruition for you with that World card, 'cause it does bring abundance. But it can also be new beginnings there with that Ace of Swords. At the back of the deck, we've got the Four of Wands. Now, talk about a celebration. The Four of Wands can be a celebration, and especially with that World card here, right? So some of you here, you could potentially be making some plans to go on a vacation, to go traveling. Perhaps you have an invitation. Oh, funny. We've got the Four of Swords right underneath the Four of Wands. So a little bit of R&R maybe in the cards for you guys here. You could be invited to attend some sort of event, so engagements, weddings, retirement parties, things like that. Hopefully it's yours, but it could be someone else's, right? Because the world can be a card of travel. And then the Four of Wands can be a party. So this can be something really fun for you guys. But this can also be the Four of Wands, the next level of commitment, the next stage of your journey. So with that Four of Wands, there could be some underlying energy here that I'm getting married, I'm getting engaged, or I'm looking for that promotion perhaps, right? So what is the next step of my journey through life look like? And with all this abundant celebratory energy in the air, it's probably pretty good. So it's going to be wonderful. The Four of Wands is celebration. It is people oriented as well. So, and a lot of people, so you might be wanting to expand your career path and your potential earnings by attending things like job fairs or, trade shows, things like that, where you can, mingle and make some connections. And this can be really positive for you. You get some good results, especially with the Ace of Swords showing up right here, right? The Ace of Swords, new ideas, focus, epiphanies, good conversations, meeting new people, talking about new ideas. It is a big yes card. Okay. And coupled with your Four of Wands, which is also known as your 1111 card, right? This can be an exciting opportunity to move forward with something. Okay. But with the Four of Cups showing up here, okay, sometimes with this, we do need to re-engage. Okay. Because this can be like, I've been waiting for something to happen. I've been waiting for something to come true. I'm waiting for the right opportunity. And now I'm just starting to kind of lose interest in things. So with that Four of Cups, it's important to re-engage with your situation and know that something is coming for you, right? Something is coming in. We've got the Fourth Cup coming in from left field there. And so the things that we want and the things that hold the most potential aren't necessarily right in front of us. So this is saying open your heart, open your mind, see the possibilities, because something is here. It just might not be right in front of your face. But if we're in this Four of Cups energy, we're like feeling a little bit of apathetic. We're feeling like, oh my goodness, nothing's going to happen. And we start to go into kind of some lack energy there. So we need Ace of Swords, re-engage and focus. But there can be something really interesting that is around you, right? Sometimes we just need to look left and right to see what's there. Got the Knight of Coins. Awesome. There's your invitation, your offer, your opportunities, some money. Seven of Cups. So we've got a little bit of procrastination showing up in here. Seven of Cups isn't necessarily a bad card, but it can keep you stuck sometimes. We've got the King of Swords here as well. So kings, of course, are leaders. And when we've got, of course, Venus going into the sign of leadership, the sign of Leo, this can represent a significant turning point for some of you where we do have a lot more opportunities opening up. But we do have the Knight of Coins. So this can represent that there's been something that you've been working towards for a long time. Perhaps it's been a little bit slow going. Knight of Coins is very slow energy, but does reap some results and rewards. So you could be finally finishing up something. You could be rewarded for something. You might have a little bit of a payday, but you could also be attracting new offers and new opportunities with this Knight of Coins. It can be a new job. It can be a new position. It can be investment opportunities, or maybe even for some of you, it can be an opportunity to purchase something that maybe you've been saving up for or you've wanted for a while. The Knight of Coins, no matter what the situation is, does take things one day at a time, is very patient energy, very grounded, down to earth, and very detail oriented. So this can really just say, make sure you pay attention to the details, but don't get lost in the weeds. All right. Ask questions. Ace of Swords, you'll receive the answer, right? Because you're getting answers with that Ace of Swords there, right? We get that ultimate clarity and focus. But we've got the Seven of Cups in the heart of your reading. So maybe some of you here with this energy, you're kind of a little bit in a dream world, a dream state. With the Seven of Cups, we're daydreaming, we're using our imagination, but we got a lot of options. We got a lot of possibilities here. And, so if we don't make a decision, though, we can get lost in la la land. Okay, we can get lost in confusion or lost in a fog, right? Neptune energy comes out with the Seven of Cups. So it's good that we've got the Ace of Swords right there. It's good that we've got the King of Swords right here, because that's really making a decision. And, because for whatever is coming in for us here, whatever door is opening up here, whatever is being offered or gifted to us, or whatever it is that we're looking to say, hey, I've wanted this thing, is now the right time to buy it, right? For spending some money. The King of Swords is your best ally here, because clarity, a sense of purpose, and taking the lead comes in with that King. Awesome energy if you're going out on any job interviews or you're doing any negotiations. The King of Swords is a great energy showing up for legal advice, anywhere where you need to use your voice, or of course make those all important decisions, right? Clarity, and very decisive. This can be a person that you may encounter, that you may need on your journey. So Knight of Coins, if you get a job offer or something, right? Or you have like an investment, but it comes with all these documents and paperwork, right? The King of Swords can be a great person to seek out. You might have to pay for their services, right? Professional services here, because maybe you do need a lawyer or a notary to look something over. Maybe you do need someone to help negotiate something here, or maybe you just need someone to talk to, right? And that King of Swords can be that really powerful ally that comes in. But we can also just be making decisions about our dreams, the Seven of Cups, right? And facing our fears. Because part of the reason why we sometimes get stuck here is because it's like there's so many possibilities, about where I'm going, or what I need to change, or what actions to take, or what opportunities to seize. But I'm kind of scared, right? What if something fails? What if something doesn't work out for me? What if I choose wrong? Right? And sometimes we have analysis paralysis, and that can come in here. So just be very aware of that. It's important to have imagination. It's important to, have a dream, right? But then we want to take action on it and make it happen. And this can be a great month to get going on that, especially with a lot of supportive cards out here for you. We've got the Eight of Swords in reverse. Perfect. The Eight of Swords in the upright is usually restriction, right? I'm stuck, I'm restricted, I'm trapped, I can't see my way forward. I'm wrapped up in fear. In the reverse, we are letting that go. Page of Cups. Look at that beautiful energy. Page of Cups right there. This is, number one, it's creative, right? The pages do tend to be messengers. They bring you news, okay? But they can also represent something that you are starting on, some adventure, some new beginning, or making those good improvements. And, considering we've got the Ace of Swords right here, right? We're making a decision. We're getting clear. We're focused on what we want. The Seven of Cups, right? We're getting creative using our imagination. And the Page of Cups, yes, I've made my choice and I'm feeling good about my choice. This can be really wonderful. So perhaps you find an open pathway, an open doorway for something that does bring along some joy. It might be a surprise because the Page of Cups does quite often come as a little bit of a surprise. Okay, and so maybe it's something that you're not quite expecting or something a little different. And remember, we've got the Four of Cups up here, something coming in out of left field. And so that can be that Page of Cups that's coming in for you there. This can be a person giving you an offer. This can be where you, finally find a way to go out and have some fun. Page of Cups loves to have fun. Go on a vacation, have a little R&R. Maybe it looks a little bit different than what you had originally planned, but it's still a positive thing, a positive event, right? And, that Four of Cups up here, right, can be like, this isn't working. Okay. And so we've got to open our mind and get a little creative, excuse me, to do something that we really want. So this can be really awesome, really fun, really exciting. This is also you using your intuition. And so you could have like a little bit of an aha moment coming in here in the best of ways. We also have the Ten of Wands. Yeah, okay. So, here you are very much at the end of something, okay? Whether you're just done taking other people's responsibilities on, you're in your workplace, maybe you constantly get things dumped on you and you're like, nope, we're not doing that anymore. The Ten of Wands can represent the end of a difficult cycle, right? You never give up. You keep on trudging ahead. You keep on putting one foot in front of the other. But the 10, we're like, okay, I need a break. I need to start saying no. I'm ready for a new beginning or just a new way of dealing with things in my life, dealing with my money. But the Page of Cups is right beside that. So it's like this energy right here is being replaced with that Page of Cups. So we're elevating our situation. We're having a little bit more fun, more fulfillment, whether it's something new or whether it's just making improvements with your money or something in your job right now, right? It is a really positive turn of events for you there. Okay. Your Four of Wands, 1111. What do you want? What are you wishing for? What are you hoping for? Where do you see yourself going? We do have a new moon in Gemini on the 14th of June. So the very next day after Venus goes into Leo. So this can be a really good time to set those intentions for money. Considering Venus carries the energy of love as well, maybe a job you love, right? Something you love to do, something where maybe you go to work, you make money, but you also feel happy and fulfilled at the same time. Isn't that the dream? Right? It's a dream for people, right? So, set those intentions at that new moon because we also, do have Uranus in Gemini and anything's possible, right? Uranus brings shocks and surprises, new beginnings, an awakening, and can also bring us freedom from things, right? Freeing ourselves, freeing our mind, freeing our energy. And so that can be really positive, really wonderful there. Excuse me, I had a cold a couple of weeks ago and it seems to still sometimes be a little bit of a remnant there, the gift that keeps on giving. Anyways, let's get a couple last cards out here for you. Yeah, one more. Oh, two more. Okay. Perfect. Number 8. Love it. I am successful. Your talent for setting and reaching goals is like no other. You are self-sufficient and capable of achieving your ambitions. 8 representing the ebb and flow, the infinite loop of creation, I am successful. This is a really wonderful message. 8 is, of course, infinite abundance, infinite potential. It's the infinity symbol. It does represent flexibility and adaptability, but it is also tied with abundance, right? So really wonderful. And also, of course, you are the 8th house is representative of Scorpio. And so here you go. So really stepping into some of your own power and using your own energy. Your planetary ruler, Pluto, is retrograde up until the middle of October. So this can be a really good time to kind of step back, have a little bit of a rest, have a little bit of a break. Remember, we saw the 4 of Wands right there, and we also have the 10 of Wands. So some of you really do need some time off. Okay. But also take that step back. What do I want? What makes me happy? Where can I put my money? Do I need to fix anything? Right. And so this Pluto retrograde can be a perfect opportunity for you to just kind of slow down just a little bit if that's what you need. Number 13, death card. Okay, it's your energy again. Okay, 13. You are a conscientious worker with a knack for coming up with creative ideas and turning them into something real. An optimistic but practical outlook keeps you determined and on track as you work steadily towards your goals. I am confident. Take those to heart. We have number 14. 14 is temperance, okay, related back to temperance card, and that blue moon. You are open-minded and always up to try something new, yet you are wise enough to stop and think before you jump into things. This pragmatic approach helps ensure your time, attention, and efforts are meaningful. I am practical. And your final one, beautiful number 333, I am powerful. 3 is the number of creation. 3 also relates to the Empress card and Venus. You are being called upon to use your spiritual gifts as a light worker, assisting all of humanity live your truths and be a positive light to others. I am powerful. There is a calling for some of you with that Page of Cups, calling for some of you there. So if you're looking for a green light for, starting a spiritual journey or perhaps a spiritual career in some way, boom, 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 boom. All of these showing up for you. I will leave all those there, Scorpio. Those are your messages. I thank you for watching. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful month ahead. I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.